Welcome to Writing Theatre. Today we are discussing journalism practice and social media criticism. Today we have a veteran journalist, Mr. Babajide Kolade Otitoju, who is the group head current and public affairs here at TVC. I'm doing this with Joshua Kiemi, and my name is Bolu Okpaniro.
How do you cope with social media criticism or bullying? You as a broadcaster and journalist, sometimes you come on air, you say things that doesn't go well with your viewers.
Because I insisted that Tinubu won the election, they're always attacking me. I'm not bothered. I have information that you don't have. Tinubu won the election. I'm not saying that it was a perfect election. I would be stupid to say that there were no irregularities. We've not reached that point when they won't rig election in Nigeria. No. But the sum total of it is that the person who won is the person who deserved to win. And it shows. That's the person who had the spread. That's the person who got votes from everywhere. Not a Peter Obi who didn't win a single state dominated by Muslim. No one can win election in Nigeria if his support is from either one region or one religious. Obi's votes came from Christians. He showed that he was the Christian candidate. Look, let me tell you, Obi will never find the evidence to overturn the election. He doesn't have it. What they are looking for is, okay, maybe they can disqualify this man on account of
the FCC 25%. The 25% in FCC.
No, there's no court that will disqualify. It's a very stupid thing to think that a state, I mean, it's not even a state, it's a small part of Nigeria that you must win to become president. No. This 25% thing they are talking about Abuja is absolute rubbish. Absolute rubbish. And time will show. Because I've been saying it that it's absolute rubbish. I've been abusing lawyers. Time will show that I know what I'm talking about. We shall see. For me, they can abuse me on social media. I have no time. If you come to my page, I'm very active on on Facebook. Very, very active. If you come to Facebook to fight me, my people will respond to you.
Your top fan.
Loyal fans. They will serve you breakfast. Now, if they don't do that, I will block you.
During the President Muhammadu Buhari's administration, your views concerning the security and aspect of things didn't really go well with some of the viewers.
There is no journalist in Nigeria who has visited the most dangerous places in our country like me. Not one. No one even comes close. This is a fact. It's not immodesty. I am the first to get into Sambisa unaccompanied in 2016. The chief of air staff told our CEO that the reason I like Jide is that he doesn't just talk about this, he goes to those places. And I saw Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu during Mama Shagaya's birthday, and they said you now go with soldiers and choppers. I didn't even know that I saw that story, So some people wanted me to be reporting falsehood. At this stage in my life, I do not believe in press statements. The army cannot issue a press statement and give to me. I'm above that. And when I was in charge of the newsroom, I would insist on cross-checking any press statement. Is it true? There are people I can call in those places. We will expose them a number of times. There are people who are on the payroll of the military and they will still on social media abusing me. They do not have the courage to go to those places. All of those paid people on social media who are abusing me, they should be ashamed of themselves where they are. Because we now have progress in that area, I'm no longer attacking them. But when Boko Haram will attack an army base, kill soldiers, and you will say nobody died, you will even claim that the attack didn't happen. You can't do that to me. I'm above that. I will come out and say it's a lie. They killed soldiers. You lost your base to the enemy. The enemy looted your weapons. One day, I was in Maiduguri on my own, just to do my own regular investigation. And the chief of army staff heard that I was in town. So he said, tell Jide that I want to see him. I left my hotel room. And in the presence of my colleagues, he said, I watch your program a lot. Your program is very credible. That's the chief of army staff that some people sat on social media abusing me on his behalf. Lieutenant Colonel Yusuf Burate. He said, so I have information. Those people on the social media, they don't have.
How has the experience been like being a journalist over the years?
I'm somebody who has always loved journalism. As a kid, I began reading newspapers as young as 6 years. Whatever I read, you can ask me questions months after. I will remember, I will tell you by providing one graphic details. So I became so obsessed with journalism, and I knew that one day I will become a journalist. I was quite convinced that that was my calling. I would say I was amongst the 3 most popular campus journalists, during my A-level days. I got to the University of Ilorin. I joined a press club by the name Waves Press Club. I eventually became the editor of Waves Press Club. My final year was the press editor, and I laid a very solid foundation for the press club to blossom. We did some crazy things that nobody was doing before I joined the press club, like trailing women, trailing our young girls or our girls to hotels, coming back with stories, providing graphic details, minute by minute account of what they were doing, right up to the point when the sugar daddies took them away. So a lot of the girls were stunned. We made it difficult for students of the University of Ilorin to go to Kwara Hotel when we began to expose them. We would then publish a teaser that where was Folusho so between the hours of so. Get the full gist on Waves Press Club. So the girls will start begging. In spite of their protestations, we will go ahead and run our story. So they were really scared. By the time I left in Ilorin, even though I graduated the first degree in history, I stuck to journalism. It was just difficult to not continue. I was already freelancing for the Herald newspaper. Herald newspaper was the newspaper of the Kwara State government. I was posted to Kaduna Poly to serve, and when I got to Kaduna Poly, I tried to change the posting to a newspaper house, but I failed. I didn't have the long legs. I didn't know anybody who could help me. Even from the NYSC camp, I was sending stories to the newspaper that I had hoped would pick me up. The editor was Abba Kyari. Abba Kyari was the former chief of staff to Buhari. He was my boss. By the time an opportunity came for people to be recruited into the The Democrats, I applied, showed up at the interview. The moment I opened my file containing my cuttings, they just said, look, we don't need to interview you. You are employed. December 1992, a new magazine was going to hit the streets, and they came all the way. Mr. Dapo Olonyomi, who is with Premium Times now, came all the way from Lagos to recruit me. I didn't do an interview. I just joined them and began to write. I rose to the top in the news. From a reporter, I became bureau chief for Northern Nigeria. From bureau chief, they brought me to Lagos to become editor of PM News, the evening paper. I edited PM News for between January 15, 1999 to August 1, 2005. I was editor of PM News, and it was the highest selling evening paper in Nigeria. Then August 1, 2005, I became the editor of the news magazine, which was like an elevation at that time. So I remained editor until TVC came calling. It was Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu who told my bosses to release me to him because he wanted improvement in the coverage of news. I led the channel to win the TV Station of the Year in 2018. I broke that long, unbeaten run of channels. This is my story, and I do not see myself doing any other job.
Your story is so inspiring, and especially to younger journalists who are like coming up now.
So how easy was it for you to transition from being a print journalist to becoming a broadcaster?
The transition to a broadcaster was seamless for me. Why? Even as a tabloid editor, I had appeared on the biggest TV stations here in Lagos. I was already familiar with, to an extent, how the TV station works. But even as a manager in the TV station, the things that I didn't know, I was able to learn fast because I was determined. I didn't want to fail. Print journalist is way deeper than the broadcaster. The print media brings you up thoroughly. So by the time you come into a TV station, you just find that the work is not as challenging.
That's right.
Yes, no, never. And some of the best journalists, some of the best TV people actually were newspaper editors. Even Piers Morgan.
There is now a core practice of core study of print and core study of broadcast in higher institutions. Do you think there is a bit of watered down knowledge build up in how we groom journalists in this age and time?
It's unfortunate. No matter the training that you've had in school, nothing compares to the practical training on the job. I believe that a place like this, TVC, the newsroom here at Max, the experience that you get, no teacher can teach you. When you go to school and you now come into a proper broadcast station, a proper media house, it then feels like you are just learning afresh. I'm also someone who believes that a written test may not necessarily bring out the best in you. We have to find other ways of testing people. Maybe in our school curriculum, they need to design in such a way that we put greater accent on practicals. Because at the end of the day, it is what you can do with your hands that you'll be judged by.
Thank you so much, sir. We are very much happy to have you here with us.
Welcome.
That was our show today. Thank you for joining us. Till next week when we bring you another guest.
Stay tuned.
Bye.